Hi, everyone. This is Marvin, and I want to share with you something from the cutting room floor that didn't make it into my sermon about the raising of Lazarus, but something I want to share with you today. There's this point in the story of Jesus raising Lazarus from the dead where he begins to cry. And the onlookers, seeing Jesus crying, have two different reactions. Some people say, wow, look at how much Jesus loved Lazarus. Look at how sad he is at his death. And then other people have the reaction of, well, he gave eyesight to a man who was born blind. If he could do that, couldn't he have prevented this man from dying? And I think that that question is a question that we often ask ourselves um, when we are thinking about why some things work out for good and some things don't work out for good. You know, there are many stories of miracles in the Bible, the blind receiving eyesight, the sick being healed, people who have other kinds of disabilities becoming fully abled, the dead even being raised. And maybe we know about um, or know of stories of miraculous healings in our own lives, or maybe we just simply know about some people who responded really well to one kind of medical intervention, but also know people who uh, didn't respond really well to the same medical intervention. Or some people experienced a miracle, but other people did not, and they went on to suffer and to die. And we ask the same question of God sometimes that the onlookers asked of Jesus. If God is capable of saving this person or doing a favor for this person, why didn't God save this person or do a favor for this person? Well, in Lazarus's case, um, you could make the case that Jesus didn't do any favors to Lazarus by raising him from the dead, and that maybe, in retrospect, Lazarus would have been content to just lie there at rest until the general resurrection. If you read on in the Gospel of John, we read that many people became believers in Jesus because Jesus raised Lazarus from the dead, which provoked anger and jealousy in the religious leaders. And they decided to try to thwart the growing popularity and influence of Jesus by killing Lazarus. They wanted to destroy the evidence that Jesus was a person of power, that he was a person endowed with divine authority. And so Lazarus goes from sleeping peacefully in the tomb to being alive, but being a marked man, a hunted man, a man with a price on his head. And I think that it is worth thinking and remembering when we think about counterfactuals. What if such and such had lived, or what if such and such had responded well, better to the treatment? We would get them back, and that would be a wonderful gift to us. But at the same time, we don't know what more heartaches or difficulties might have been in store for that person if they had continued to live. None of us have knowledge about how different scenarios would have played themselves out. I think the most important thing in the story of Jesus raising Lazarus from the dead is that uh, it's just a symbol and a testimony to the power of Jesus Christ and to his power over death, which we experience to a certain extent whenever the sick are healed, whenever people who are resuscitated either by miraculous or by natural means. But it's a power that we'll experience in its full when Christ comes again to renew the whole world and make all things new. So I think the healings that we see in scriptures and that we see in our daily lives, they are things to be grateful for and receive with joy and gratitude, but they also point to a greater healing that all of us are in need of, the healthy and the sick, the living and the dead, and that is to be free of death once and for all. None of us who are healed of an illness are completely freed of death, even if that healing comes directly from God. But if we entrust ourselves to Christ, we will be freed from the greatest of enemies in the end of time. And that is something that we can all take heart in and look forward to. So let's commend our deceased loved ones to the mercy and to the care of God. Let's lift up in prayer those who practice the healing arts, doctors and nurses, and give thanks to God for them. Let's try to take care of our own bodies. They're a gift from God to us. and trust that in life and in death we belong to God. And no matter what the future unfolds, God will be there with us and for us. So take care and have a blessed week. Goodbye.